Welcome back, everybody, to our crypto spiritual energy update here for week 23, 1st till 7th of June. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm airing from transCODES, our proud sponsor, and I'm also delivering this information here for everyone who's interested in crypto staffer. Thank you guys for coming. This is a live stream, so please feel free to comment and ask questions, and stay with me here, even if you think this is all woo-woo, and let me know what kind of coins, tokens, ICOs, wallets, or exchanges you would like us to test. In these last weeks, we have started publishing the results of our crypto integrity calibration group, and this is a very exciting project, guys. It's a mixture of energy work and remote viewing, but primarily energy testing, and that is that we apply the map of consciousness to the tokens, coins, exchanges, and now also wallets. So we've added a new category here to our integrity testing, and we're going to get to this here in a little bit. We're not just testing ICOs for you. We're not just testing existing coins, altcoins, or tokens for you. And just so you know, I'm using the word token and coin interchangeably here. For me, from a technical point of view, those are all tokens. We're also testing exchanges, and we've added the wallets now. Okay, so as crypto is getting more and more popular, people want to know what is more safe, what is more integrous, for application software, which is really great, because if you think about it, one of the reasons why the cryptocurrency market is still somewhat of a Wild West is, the really confusing landscape here in regards to where to store our cryptocurrencies, where to buy them, and what to use. So we're not going to give any investment advice here. As you know, we're not financial advisors. We're energy readers and energy healers who are in touch with collective energies at all times. We work with hundreds of people here every week, most of them empaths and energetically sensitives like yourselves. And we're testing different factors that play into each of these categories. And that is the investment, the token itself, the people, the team behind it, sometimes also the organization. And then as a third factor, we bring in the technology and the long-term vision, the white paper, if you will. But all this is blind testing, so the testers don't know what they're testing, just so that we don't get tangled up by our personal opinion or maybe our personal investment choices. All right, and it's a mixture here of things, as I said, energetic calibration that gives us the information whether a cryptocurrency or a related project is integrous, whether it's truth-based or not. And also, and this is something that came in through me as an enthusiast here for the crypto world, in how far it actually supports the system itself. The innovation of blockchain technology, but also, of course, some of the disruptive qualities, and the redistribution of power, the redistribution of wealth in some cases, and of course the open source and decentralized nature of it. So these are long-term perspectives that we're testing here, not sort of how much return of investment you can make. And I really need you to keep this in mind, because that's why you can not always use these integrity testings as sort of guideline for your own investment decisions. But what you can do, and this is more something for those of you interested in, what kind of long-term vision am I supporting here? Okay, this is what we do this for. We also do this within our capacity as abundance coaches and business coaches, where people ask us, is this a good contract? Is this a good business idea? Is this a good product to invest in, and so forth. So this is more or less a byproduct here of the work that transCODES does. And before we get into the brief overview, and I'll you notice this, it's getting more brief every week, because there are so many good YouTubers and Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, whatnot. Sort of crypto overview reports. That my 2 cents really don't matter in the whole game, but I do want to look at these crypto energies here from a collective perspective and how this plays in with the overall collective energies. As you all know, right before the crypto update, I report about the collective energies all together, and there we can gain information about the overall sentiment. Okay, and the overall sentiment here plays into the crypto market, namely insofar as it is like these individuals that are affected by collective energies, emotionally, mentally, physically, and so forth, that can play into their interests, say, or into their decision-making process. So what have we learned looking here at the last week? What's going on here? Massive sideways movement as predicted, ups and downs, lots of FOMO, lots of, jumping in, jumping off, okay? And so, if you are a day trader, you may have made a good cut here last week, but overall, really sideways movement. We're almost at the same market capitalization that we were last week, and prices have gone down just a little bit. Today is a bit greener than it was yesterday. But just like I said last week, don't jump onto every horse, because that's just going to wear you out energetically. And it's going to drive you into this emotionality, this not just a fear of loss, which comes in a bit stronger here this coming week. And perhaps even more people, sort of panic and run, PRA, just sort of leaving the ship and say, I've had it with cryptos, because there really is not much interest right now. Now, the interesting part about this is that we've had actually a lot of very positive news. So there was actually the opposite of FUD in the sort of crypto news world going on, but nobody reads it, nobody's interested. All we're hearing is that this company and that central bank and that bank, and that all they're all recognizing cryptocurrencies, they're all jumping on it, and there's a lot of sort of Aufbruchstimmung, as we say in German. There's a lot of sort of new stuff and new money being invested, but not yet visible in the actual crypto prices. So what does this mean for us? It means that this is a really good time, for JOMO, as I said last week. And actually, those of you who watched the crypto energy update last week will see that the arrow here on this barometer is on the exact same position as it was last week, even though the collective energies are very much positive for this coming week. The way this will play out in the crypto market is I'm not expecting a lot of change here, simply because there are some other things that are a bit more important this next week, and scandals and uncoverings and things that need to come forward now. This will all continue, and this is all distractive, okay, for the crypto market. So my tip for you is sit this out, guys. Lean back. I don't think it's a good time to buy right now. I think it's a good time to weed out your investments, to do some integrity testing on things, and really watch things maturing. Watch them maturing, okay? Nobody in the stock market or in the mutual funds scene expects an investment to pay out within the month, not even within 6 months, okay? So you guys got to be mature here, and not expect these unrealistic returns of investment that we saw last year, maybe. Watch your investments grow. Throw out the things that don't feel integrous for you, or where you get a slightly different perspective on things. As far as the big names is concerned, not much news on the Bitcoin front or Litecoin front. EOS, is going live tomorrow, so this will show us, some of that integrity. We've tested EOS before. Let me pull this up for you. And it didn't really look that good to us from an integrity standpoint. Okay, so this is something, I just want to throw in. This is what we do this for. Okay, so if somebody asks you, what you feel about this, then of course the returns of investment of this ICO that's been going on for an entire year are pretty good, but the project itself, and as you will see here, this is the past testing from a few weeks back. Especially the people involved do not test that high. Okay, so we've got to see how this works out for EOS here in the implementation phase that is now coming in. There were a lot of rumors here in the last week about bugs, so they're bug fixing, they're testing, and all that is of course legitimate, but I'm not very convinced from an energetic point of view. So the way we do this integrity rating is that we use the map of consciousness, and one major value we look at is 200, because 200 is a sort of the boundary between integrous and non-integrous. Anything that calibrates below 200 is not really trustworthy. Doesn't mean you can't make a lot of money with it, but as far as long-term investment is concerned, and if you are more like the type of investor that wants to, just build a good portfolio, keep buying in the things that you've, decided for, then you want to look at this number here, this 200 number. It should at least have an overall rating of 200. Okay. One of the new categories, as I said, is wallets, only because this is sort of a really practical implementation aspect and integration aspect, as we call it as energy workers. And this is really important that we keep an eye on this, because everything that is providing us with more infrastructure, with better user interface, with more safety and so forth, will be very instrumental here for the crypto market in the future. Okay, without an easy application, easy usage, even as a merchant, I find it really difficult to integrate crypto payments into my bookkeeping and all that. All this here has to happen here within 2018 for it to become more of a mass adoption. Okay, so that's why I'm always keeping my eye out on infrastructure coins and wallets and exchanges. Okay, and so let's get started. What we've tested here for you this week. If you have any questions, remember this is live. Please let me know. Also, just as a reminder, please let me know what you want us to test. We won't be able to test everything, in a timely manner, say, but we'll try to match sort of the interest that is there. Okay, and please don't bombard us with affiliate links and so forth. We're trying to match, what we think most people would be interested in. Okay, so as ICO, we've picked Kora. Not many people talk about Kora, but I thought I'd follow Superman here in his suggestion and look at this ICO that will come up, I think, in 2 weeks. It's a payment processing infrastructure, if you will, really trying to conjoin, banking and crypto asset management. All right, and they're also going to provide infrastructure for larger companies here, like payment processing avenues, and perhaps even credit card integration and so forth. And the token itself calibrated at 209. That's a good sign, guys. Over 200, trustworthy. Could be a little higher if it was like a really, really, really good investment. We'd expect a bit higher rating here for the ICO token itself. The people in the organization behind it, and I want to point this out, with almost every company that we have tested so far here in the crypto market, the people in the organization behind it tested lower than the project. In this case, actually, the people test higher than the project itself, which is very unusual. And I'm very curious how this is going to play out in the future. The vision of the project also tests relatively high. And so we come to an overall rating of 216, which is a good rating, means Kora could be looked at as an integrous project, a very motivated team, and the vision, the long-term vision that they have is very feasible. In fact, we had a little bit of data overlay, and we're learning this now, what this means. For Kora and also for the token that we tested, which we're going to get to here in a second, future corporations will turn out extremely favorable, extremely advantageous for them. So it is not just the vision or the token or the technology itself. It is also the corporations that they're going to be able to make here in the future. So that's very exciting. A really good sign for an ICO. We haven't had really exciting ICOs here in these last couple of months, but we're looking at quite a few interesting ICOs coming forward. Next, we tested an altcoin, and we picked Ontology. This is the first a Neo token that I've actually looked at. I personally didn't buy any Ontology in the past. It was the first time that I actually looked at it. And just so you know, I'm trying to, when we do the testing, I'm the one that tasks the tester. So the testers test blind, but I, of course, know what it is. And I'm really trying to take my personal opinion out of this, all right? I was prompted to do the Ontology token by some of you guys' recommendation, and I was quite impressed, actually. So Ontology, very similar here, wants to provide an infrastructure for applications in the blockchain industry, and I think this is really needed. So this is a company. It's based on the Neo network. On the Neo block, it's not really a blockchain, but you know what I mean, that helps companies to migrate, that helps people to develop blockchain applications. And the investment rated over 204, which is really nice. The people, the team behind it at 196, still relatively okay, just right there on pride. So there's a lot of pride involved. That's okay. But the technology and the long-term vision that Ontology has rated really high at 232. It came out only to 211 altogether. But we had two testers had a massive overlay here for the future. So overall, the way I see Ontology is that it's an integrous project, so it's okay to have that in your portfolio. The investment is okay. But the future could be very promising for Ontology, namely, not Ontology itself, but the projects that are being developed with or through Ontology. So that's just here my energy coach 2 cents to that, based on the testing that we did. And you see there's multiple levels on which you can look at an investment. And it's important that, especially when you are interested in supporting something in the really long term, that you don't just look at how much money can I make with this in the short term. Okay, these are all future Facebooks, Googles, Apples, and so forth, potentially. As exchange, we looked at Huobi. Huobi is not available in the United States, so maybe some of you don't know Huobi, but it's really the largest exchange in Asia, in China. I had a little bit of trouble here with some of the regulations, but made it through. Okay, they stood their ground. I thought that was quite impressive. Huobi also has a token similar as Binance, but we didn't test the Huobi token. We tested the Huobi as an exchange. And the integrity rating, you probably know this by now. I've said this a few times. We don't test the long-term vision of exchanges simply because the intention is obvious. It's about making money. So it's really not according to overall sort of crypto spirit, if you will. But we need exchanges. So they usually test a little lower than the other projects that we look at. So the exchange, with the exchange, we also sort of feel out the safety of the software, the integrity of the software, calibrated at 188. And the people and team behind it, 187, that's relatively clear cut. It's below integrity. However, making money is below integrity from a sort of divine consciousness point of view. Not making money altogether, but making money off other people's money. And so I would say, as an exchange, not trustworthy. I'm not using it. The main thing that stuck out for me is that I really couldn't feel any love, any care for the customer itself. Something that I see with Binance. Okay, so that's just my personal opinion here, but the testing within the group of testers that we have here confirmed this. So not really convincing. Sorry guys, don't mean to troll you or anything, but not optimal. Then that leads us to the wallet, and this was surprising to me, guys. Again here, I love this. It never ceases to amaze me. As first wallet, I picked Exodus. Exodus has been around for a while, and not everybody knows Exodus, but it's actually a really, really cool wallet. It has atomic swaps, and it's very, very easy to use, super fast and cheap. Works offline, so you have to download it to your computer. It's really, really cool. The wallet itself, the function of it, tested over 200, which is great. It works. It works. It's trustworthy. The people tested relatively low, but once more, we have this a lot here in the crypto sphere because there's so much movement. And as crypto staff, we also know that there is there's an over demand right now. There's an undersupply and over demand of technical personnel. And that means that a lot of teams are really struggling for getting the right people in. So a lot of movement there still. And I can see this here with Exodus. The technology itself and the safety of the wallet actually tested 204 as well, which is great. That means it's trustworthy. It only came out to an overall rating of 198. However, the wallet itself is a great wallet. It's okay. Team is not fully formed yet. So at this point, there's a little bit of back and forth and maybe issues with, I don't know, customer support updates. I personally didn't have any issues yet, but, it's just not working around yet. However, and once more here, there was a huge overlay for future updates. So I'm looking forward to seeing Exodus evolve as the crypto market and the mainstream, or at least the early adoption here, continues and new updates are coming out. I have a very good feeling about Exodus, and as long as there are no real alternatives out there. You can't really hold all tokens there, but quite a good selection so far. Other news here in the wallet segment is that Ethos is going into beta testing. I'm a beta tester, so I can't really talk about this much right now, but other wallets as well here projecting beta versions, like in the very, very near future. So by, like say, the third quarter of 2018, we're going to have some good wallets here that hopefully work as promised. All right, I'm looking forward to some of those. You guys know that I've been a big proponent of some of these early wallet projects. Yes, and if you don't have any questions, guys, I would like to close here. I'm looking forward to next week. Please let me know what you want us to test. Don't forget to smash the like buttons and do comment here. I just complained about this with the collective energy updates as well. So many views, so many likes, not many comments. I know many of you don't have a YouTube account because you're not really, in this whole sort of social media world. I get it. It's okay. Don't get it. Don't jeopardize your privacy or your personal data because I said so. I get it. But those of you who have a Google account or have a YouTube account, just leave me a little comment there and let me know. I'd love to make polls. I just didn't have enough suggestions from you guys so far to make polls. All right. Thank you very much. Lean back next week. Don't get all tangled up. The chakras involved are first and second. That's always a bad sign. Third and fourth, and your long-term vision, your sixth chakra. So just write that one out. That's my 2 cents. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, guys.